What's next after a primary election that's too close to call in the Republican race for governor? We'll take a closer look.
Clouds are increasing, rain not too far behind, and coming up I'll show you why it may be a very chilly rain that blows into town.
It's the largest auto recall in U.S. history. Now at 4, find out why the number of cars and trucks is going to double.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. I'm Jennifer Palumbo. Our taste of fall continues. After starting the day in the 40s, temperatures are struggling to get to 70 in Lexington. This is a live look at Thoroughbred Park in downtown, where it's a really nice afternoon. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has a first look at the forecast. Chris?
Yeah, the clouds beginning to roll on into town, Jennifer, and that's a sign of some changes coming up as we go into later tonight and tomorrow. We're going to turn it ugly for a little while, and we're starting to see some of the ugly showing up on that western horizon. Right now, Lexington, little sun over Hamburg Pavilion, but let me pan our tower cam back toward the west. Notice how all of a sudden now we start to see the overcast conditions really beginning to press on into town. That is on the way. 69 degrees now, humidity creeping up a little bit, 54%. So we're still seeing some colder than normal air, but nothing compared to what is out there to our west and northwest. 59 Paducah with rain, 65 Owensboro, only 61 into Covington. How about 40s into the afternoon, into the middle of May for most of Illinois? We're going to get in on some of the air that is to our west as we go through tomorrow, and it's going to come with an increase in clouds and some rainfall. Right now in Live First Alert Defender, not a whole lot out there. We go into western Kentucky. Now we start to see rains increasing, and all of that rain continues to roll its way right across the western part of Kentucky, and that'll be into central and eastern Kentucky. And coming in behind that, well, I think tomorrow is going to be a very chilly day. Look at all the clouds that are out there across the Mississippi River Valley. Now, if you're out this evening, Jennifer, clouds will thicken up. We will hang on to cool temperatures, upper 50s with some raindrops beginning to blow on into town. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll show you just how chilly I think your Thursday is going to be.
Thanks, Chris. 83 votes. That's all that separates the top 2 vote getters in Kentucky's Republican primary for governor. 214,000 registered Republicans voted in yesterday's election, and in the end, Louisville businessman Matt Bevin had 70,479 votes, and Agriculture Commissioner James Comer had 70,396, a difference of 83 votes. Comer says he plans to challenge the results with a recanvass. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is at the state capitol in Frankfort with a look at what's next in our top story at 4.
Allison Grimes says a recanvass, which is basically just a rechecking of the vote totals in voting machines, has happened in other statewide races, but she says she can't find a record of it ever happening in the governor's race.
We're told that Jamie Comer's campaign would request a recanvass, which must be done in writing at the Secretary of State's office at the Capitol. That recanvass request must be done by 4 o'clock on May 26th. That's next Tuesday. The recanvass would then take place 2 days later by the county boards of elections.
It is a verification of the vote totals that were provided to our office, and they do that by actually checking the vote machine totals with the recap sheet.
And just to clarify, a recanvass is not a recount. That would require a court order. It does also carry with it an expense because that's actually a recounting of all of the individual ballots. Comer's campaign indicated this request might come today, but we have been here all day and we have not seen them. We're going to have a lot more at 5 and 6, but for now in Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Also, the Secretary of State says 12 military votes have not yet been counted, but would not be enough to change the outcome of the election. Under state law, all ballot boxes must be locked for the next 10 days. That's until next Friday, the 29th. By noon Friday, all county boards of elections must certify their vote totals to the Secretary of State's office. The deadline for Comer or a county election board to request a recanvass is 4 p.m. next Tuesday, and a recanvass would then begin Thursday, May 28th at 9 in the morning. The Democratic primary for governor did not take long to decide. Attorney General Jack Conway easily beat Jeff Young with 79% of the vote. Conway says he's well prepared for the race for governor, whether it's Bevin or Comer. Even with Conway's strong showing, Jeff Young says he will not concede the Democratic nomination. He says he plans to discredit Conway's candidacy in court. We now know the name of a FedEx truck driver who died in a fiery crash on I-75 yesterday. State police say 41-year-old Toby Caudle of Glenford, Ohio, died in the crash in Rockcastle County that also killed 34-year-old Jonathan Roark of Barberville. Roark was driving a car that was part of the crash involving 6 semis on I-75. WKYT has learned that Roark was a member of the Kentucky National Guard. We'll have more on him and the investigation into the crash coming up on WKYT News at 5. We're working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us from the newsroom with a look at some more of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Jennifer. A Southern Kentucky father is speaking out from jail today, accused of endangering his 3-year-old son over the weekend. Police say that Billy Morgan left the boy in an apartment with 2 other teenage sons who appeared to be drunk. Morgan told us from the Laurel County Correctional Center, where he's charged with child endangerment, he dropped the 3-year-old off with the teens and didn't see the teenagers drinking. According to police, both a 15 and a 16-year-old appear to be passed out drunk and had to be taken to the hospital. You will hear from Morgan coming up on WKYT News at 5 o'clock. Frankfort man is in custody this afternoon after a woman reported a home invasion last week. Matthew Hyatt actually turned himself in last night, now facing multiple charges, including burglary and sexual abuse. An arrest warrant says that Hyatt went to a house on Hawthorne Drive and tried to sexually assault a woman. Police say the woman was able to fight him off and ran away. Coming up on WKYT News at 4:30, we'll have more details. And a Harrison County family without a home today after an explosion destroyed it. Firefighters say 2 adults were sleeping in the home when they heard an explosion about 1 this morning. The home then caught fire. The couple was able to escape through a bedroom window. The Red Cross is now helping them. You will hear from a neighbor coming up on WKYT News at 4:30. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thank you, Sam. Now to stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Newly declassified documents are giving new insight into the mind of Osama bin Laden. During his years in hiding, the al-Qaeda leader urged followers to concentrate on attacking Americans and wrote bittersweet letters to one of his wives and his children. The documents were seized in bin Laden's compound in Pakistan during the 2011 raid in which he was killed. The number of cars and trucks included in what's now the largest auto recall in U.S. history is going to double. The reason? Potentially explosive airbags. Under pressure from U.S. safety regulators, Takata has agreed to declare nearly 34 million airbags defective. Faulty inflators that can send shrapnel flying into the passenger compartment have been blamed for 6 deaths. Jeff Glor has the latest.
But up until now, Takata has refused to acknowledge that their airbags are defective. That changes today.
Secretary of Transportation Anthony Fox says the biggest open question of all comes from Takata.
Takata still has not identified the root cause of the defect, but we cannot let that delay our actions.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, believes that moisture from humidity leaks into the airbag's inflator, changing the properties of the ammonium nitrate used to inflate the bags. The explosive force can rupture the metal casing, sending shrapnel flying through the vehicle.
I don't want people to be driving on roads and, having that defective airbag that could possibly kill them.
3 years ago, Angelina Sujata was driving a 2001 Honda Civic when she was involved in a low-speed crash. Her Takata airbag exploded. One piece of shrapnel from inside the airbag flew out her windshield. The other ripped into her body.
I had a hole in my chest, clear enough to see the bone at the bottom.
Attorney Kevin Dean is suing Takata and Honda on behalf of Sujata and other clients injured by the airbags.
We don't really know the total volume of affected vehicles, I don't think yet.
He hired forensic engineer Bill Williams to try to discover a cause. So far, of the 100 airbags they've tested, 3 have ruptured.
If you're sitting in one of these vehicles and the airbag goes off, you don't know what you're going to get. It could be safe, it could be essentially a grenade.
Exactly.
And that was Jeff Glor reporting. After 33 years on late-night television, David Letterman is signing off tonight. He's taped his final episode of CBS's Late Show today. To commemorate the event, the mayor of his hometown of Indianapolis declared this David Letterman Day. Letterman graduated from Ball State University in nearby Muncie. He also worked as a local TV weatherman. The guest lineup for tonight's show is being kept under tight wraps. You'll see it right after WKYT News at 11.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
A mixed day on Wall Street. After a record close yesterday, the Dow dropped 27 points to 18,285. The S&P fell 2 and the Nasdaq picked up 2. This Memorial Day weekend could be a record breaker when it comes to travel and spending. The U.S. Travel Association says Americans who are traveling by plane, train, or automobile will spend on average $330 each. That's up 5% from last year. Two reasons: relatively low gas prices and an improving economy. Nearly 7 in 10 Americans say they've received at least one fraud alert on their credit or debit card that's been a false alarm. According to a new report from creditcards.com, analysts say the best way to avoid false fraud alerts is to notify your card issuer before traveling or making unusual purchases. Bigger isn't always better when it comes to the best cities for jobs. Glassdoor's latest survey finds workers are better off in mid-sized cities with lower costs than bigger cities such as New York and San Francisco. Raleigh, North Carolina ranks number 1. Diamonds may be a girl's best friend, but the new Apple Watch could be second. A data firm analyzed thousands of tweets and found women like the watch more than men do. Women like the fitness apps and buying things such as coffee with their wrist. This is a big night at the Lexington Opera House as they announce the new season of Broadway Live.
I almost feel like doing a little drum roll.
Yes.
Deanne Stevens is there to tell us what's happening tonight. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys, from the Lexington Opera House, where tonight is a very big night. It is the Broadway Live series announcement. This is something that everybody in town waits for all year long, and it all comes down to tonight. Luann Franklin with the Lexington Opera House. What is tonight all about?
Tonight is a special night. It's the big reveal of the new titles for Broadway Live, Variety Live season.
Let's visit what went on last year. What all did we see over this last year here at the Lexington Opera House?
Oh, I can't believe you just asked me that question.
There's so many fabulous shows.
We saw Elf, the musical. We saw Guys and Dolls. We saw Peter and the Starcatcher. So many great productions.
And you can't tell us what we're going to see this coming year, because then there would be no reason for the reveal.
You have to be here tonight, and there are a few tickets remaining.
Okay, so how do folks get tickets?
Tickets are complimentary. At this point in time, just come on down to the Opera House. The doors open at 6:30. The show starts at 7:30.
And what I love about the big reveal each year, you guys do this in a way that it really provides excitement for our community. You have local folks, local talent that come in. Talk a bit about that and how it really is a great, great show tonight.
Well, it's all about the Opera House Fund, who supports most of the programming here at the venue. And so tonight we invite local arts groups, ballet companies, vocal groups to help us present each title, and they do so in a wonderful way. And so it's a way for them to give back to the Opera House Fund in the same manner that the Opera House Fund has given to them.
6:30, doors open. 7:30 is showtime. You can come down here and find out the big reveal tonight for the Broadway Live series. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about at the Lexington Opera House. Back to you guys.
It's time for better living, health education, and consumer news that impacts your life. People battling depression have a greater risk of developing Parkinson's disease. That's according to Swedish researchers who looked at more than 140,000 people. They found within 1 year of the study, depressed people were 3 times more likely to develop Parkinson's. 15 to 25 years after the study, they were 50% more likely to develop the neurological disease. A new study suggests men are not protecting their skin from the sun and skin cancer as well as women do. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found only 14.3% of men said they regularly used sunscreen. Women aren't exactly getting it right either, though. Only about 30% apply sunscreen to their face and bodies on a regular basis. Researchers suggest using a broad-spectrum sunscreen to protect yourself from UVB rays that are responsible for sunburn. While many people try to hide their gray hair, others are going gray on purpose. It's part of a growing trend known as granny hair. Marley Hall visited a New York City salon where one young woman got a new old look.
All right, Susie, we're ready for you.
Susie Katz can't wait to go gray. In fact, she's dying to.
Okay, here we go. There's no turning back now.
The 29-year-old is one of a growing number of young women and men who are asking professionals like Marie Robinson to color their locks various shades of gray.
How often are you doing this in your salon? I would say that we're averaging probably 3 to 4 clients a week, which I think is a lot for something that's such an unusual and unique look.
The trend known as granny hair has taken social media by storm.
If you're on the internet, you're definitely seeing it right now.
Augusta Folletta is the beauty editor at BuzzFeed. The social news website calls granny hair the biggest hair trend of the year so far.
It started with high fashion, and now it went up through celebrities have it, and now real people are kind of picking up on it.
24-year-old Jean Salvador has been gray for the past 4 months.
I come back to do this about once a month.
Colorist Lucille Javier must bleach the hair to a pale yellow, then apply the gray tint.
The transformation process is about an 8 to 9 hour job.
The average cost is about $700, but that can vary depending on your hair and the salon.
Some people would say this is drastic.
I think that if you're able to rock it, why not?
After an entire day in the chair, Susie loves her new look.
I feel like a super chic, older lady, but, you know, in a young lady's body.
Marley Hall, CBS News, New York.